do we need to rethink when it comes to devolution, or which ones have worked in your view?
Trevor, that's a very, very important question, especially for a day like today, when we have about 45 governors who are going to be sworn in. One of the things that I would recommend to be looked at is county assets. And it is a time like this when we see a lot of white elephants in county governments, because there are governors who came in and unfortunately they will not be re-elected. And so there are projects which they started in their areas based on probably the manifestos which they had or the CIDPs. And some of those projects have already begun in schools, roads, water pumps, boreholes, etc., even health facilities, like Mheshimiwa is talking about health service delivery. So one of the things that I would recommend is that even as governors get sworn in, they need to sit down with their teams and have a complete audit of what was being done by the past governments, and therefore what do they need to prioritize, either to completion or to ensure that the budgets are not, there's no double budgeting or misbudgeting. The second issue, in my view, is, of course, issues around on-source revenue. And our county governments have not done very well in terms of working around the assets that are resident in their counties. What we have seen most counties, and particularly the offices of the governors, doing is to over-concentrate on land rates. And we see a lot of adverts on newspapers or on TV and radio stations calling landowners to declare how much they own, and that counties will give them some discounts and all that. But yet there are over 100 streams that counties can be able to use to be able to enhance their own source revenue. And if you look at the monies that therefore are disbursed to county governments from national governments, it doesn't even meet the expectations of the citizens for service delivery. And if you look at the ratios for development budget against recurrent, as Mheshimiwa again said, counties have failed to meet the 35% expectation, both by the Auditor General and even the Public Finance Management Act. And so it is important for us that as we look forward to the new coming governors, they need to work with their teams to emphasize on-source revenue. And I know that as County Governance Watch and Commission on Revenue Allocation, together with the Council of Governors and other institutions, have been working with county assemblies and even county governments to enhance trainings, ensure that inductions, even for MCAs that are coming in, so that they now put priorities in terms of laws that counties need to pass to effect issues of on-source revenue, because the legislation bit of it is also a problem, which brings me to the third thing that counties need to emphasize. Remember that governors don't work alone. They work with their assemblies. And so what kind of priorities do assemblies have in their order papers, even when they are doing their discussions at the assembly? Citizens want to see laws that respond to their needs. A lot of what we've been treated to in the past 2013 and 2017 is over compromise of MCAs and governors, and, you know, the scratch my back, I scratch your back mentality within our public service. But I am hoping that the new MCAs that are coming in will be able to look at the manifestos of the governments, against the CIDPs, and ensure that even the laws that are passed within the county assemblies really respond to the expectations of the citizens. The fourth thing, Trevor, is oversight. I'm seeing governors who are senators, senators who are governors now, like Mandera, the governor is now a senator. In Makueni, we have the senator is now the governor. In Nairobi here, Governor Sakaja now was our senator. The question is, what does this really mean for devolution? And especially in instances where the senators raised fundamental questions over past governments. Yes, it is good for governors to run as senators, but what does it mean for accountability issues, for questions which the governors were not able to respond to, that border on accountability, that border on transparency, that border on fiducious use of public resources? And for governors who are senators and now are governors, what are these major things that they saw that require oversight, and probably they now feel that they've been given those opportunities and that they are going to respond to them? The fifth thing is pending bills.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the last period, the last governments, we were told that we have over, I think, 120, that counties owe service providers over 128 billion. What measures are these governments or these governors going to put in place to ensure that service delivery is not jeopardized because the service providers want money, they want to be paid, they cannot be paid? In the past, we have seen even county officials threatening or actually going on strike because of failure of their payment. I don't think that in the third generation of our county governments, Kenyans need to be treated to threats of strikes, especially, of course, we note the context of a stretched debt burden of the Republic, lack of counties to be able to generate their own resources, but conversations around and about treasury intergovernmental issues between the summit led by the governor and the Council of Governors. We want to see those meetings coming up with proper recommendations that therefore border on effective service delivery and how we can be able to keep building and making devolution work, as opposed to every time agonizing and not organizing around how we can be able to answer those particular questions.
Okay.